What's going on, yo? What's going on? What's going on? Oh man, are we covering something we've covered once, twice, thrice, four, fifth? How many times are you gonna cover this, Z? How many times are you going to talk about this same thing, Z? Right? So we will be speaking about the fact that what is it? 45% of women are going to be single by 2030. We already know the stats. Mr. Z walked in the door speaking about this. We mentioned this, or at least cover this. It's looking like once ish a year, right? Crimson Cure spoke on it. It was on the Black Millionaire Instagram page. Yes, Mr. Z did read through the comments. You better believe it, because one of Mr. Z's in real life friends sent him this a couple days ago. So yeah, Mr. Z read through the comments, and we're gonna be scrolling through some of those comments in a minute, right? So like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in, and we'll get right to it. So let's do this. Shout out to Crimson Cure. Link is in the description if you didn't see it already. We're gonna be playing a couple of clips from her page, and we're going to have to speak about what this supposed liberation leads to. Uh-oh. Anyway, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Right? So let's play these couple of clips and let's get underway.
Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So this was interesting to me. It says by 2030, around 45% of women aged 25 to 44 are expected to be single and child-free, according to the new study. And this is I'm just going to read the information here. Nearly half of women aged 25 to 44. This is pretty much the marrying age of women. And this is why, even though you might think that my title is being hyperbolic and saying all women, most women get married in this age range. Okay, 25 to 44. So this is like the prime area or the prime age for women to have some kind of committed relationship. By the time she's 44, she's probably already been in a relationship, or ideologically she would have already been married, right? We know that in this current climate that's not always the case, but you get what I'm trying to say. Recent projections from Morgan Stanley suggested that by 2030, that's just 4 years from now, basically, because it's going to be 2026 soon, that by 2030, about 45% of women between 25 and 44 in the U.S. will be both single and without children. This trend has been steadily rising, up from 41% in 2018, and is expected to grow by 1.2% annually, outpacing the overall population growth rate. That's key, to outpace the population growth rate. One of the major reasons behind the shift is that many women are prioritizing their careers during what's often considered prime working years. This lifestyle change is being supported by evolving cultural norms, increased access to education, and opportunities for economic independence. Economists like Ellen Zentner note that this shift may actually benefit the labor market. Who will it benefit? Not women, not men, not children, not the society, the labor market. As more women are able to work full-time and contribute to the economy, single women are also known to spend more on travel, entertainment, personal care, and retail, which boosts consumer markets. However, there are growing concerns about the broader social implications of these lifestyle changes. Lower birth rates could accelerate demographic challenges like population decline and aging workforce. Additionally, some studies suggest that unmarried, child-free women may face increased mental health challenges related to loneliness, lack of social support, and identity. Ultimately, while this trend reflects greater freedom and autonomy for women, it also raises important questions about the future of family, societal structure, and long-term well-being. Okay. And you can see the comments. This right here is probably the most straightforward, modern response to or reason given for the purpose of feminism in a modern piece of media. Do you understand what I mean? This right here encapsulated feminism and the purpose of it, the real purpose of it, not to empower women to be better people or to be there. Right here, they're talking about the actual reason why feminism was pushed in society overall. Let's go back over it. to capture women in this age range, 25 to 44, where these are women who would, in another society, in a non-feminist society, these are the best candidate women for marriage and family. At the younger spectrum, you have more fertility, idealistically, more fertility, because like I've said before, having children is a young woman's game. Okay, so from 25 to 35, and we know biologically earlier than that, but using the number that's right here, 25 to 35, prime childbearing years, right? You don't start getting complications from childbearing unless you've got health problems pre-existing, not taking care of yourself, and you have to really become quite a bit older, actually, to start having actual problems giving birth due to age.
So that's the first clip. And as Mr. Z said before, shout out to my day ones. And Crimson Cure, once again, shout out to her. She picked up on the tone of this article also. They're salivating. They are salivating. So it's a battle right now between the technocrats. Y'all have heard Z say that also. The technocrats that say, whoa, 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 look, yeah, we're going to be all about our money. But there are things that might be more important than money, like family, like these women having children. Who's going to uphold the society afterward? And then you got that stomp down, 10 toes down, let them eat cake capitalists, elite white male capitalists for the most part. I said, no, screw them. Let us have the kids. Let us have the family. All the rest of them, shrugs, we'll just make money off of them. Single women buy more things, we'll just make money off of them. Right? Well, once again, that's for the ones who aren't, starving. Black and Latina women who never marry are the least wealthy in the US. Uh-oh, there's that part. Huh? Well, there's that. Huh? Also, the average man spends $5,000 to $12,000 more per year when in relationship. Well, there's that also. Huh? Yikes. So it's a battle with the technocrats right now. And we're all pawns in their game, especially the women. Huh? Especially the women. They're salivating. They're drooling at the idea, hey, these single women, we're going to make money off of them. They're going to be trying to subdue and tamp down and assuage their sadness, their loneliness, their depression. We're going to talk about it in a minute. And we're going to make money off of them, pun intended, coming and going. Huh? We're going to make money off of them coming and going. Rose toy and all. Huh? Yikes. So, once again, that was the first clip. Shout out to Crimson Cure. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. And we'll go over the second clip. Y'all give me a second, and here we go.
Okay. So, right. And they're saying it's beneficial to the labor market. Why is it beneficial? Because the single women are able to work full time and contribute to the economy by doing what? Spending, by being consumers, traveling, entertainment. That's leisure. Personal care, retail, all of that is leisure. When you look at the lost value system, when you take a look at the lost value system, when there's no limit on the leisure, no limit. It's unlimited leisure, right? So this is what they're talking about: unlimited leisure. Single women that don't have men in their lives order certain types of order and structure are going to have unlimited leisure. Okay, this boosts what? The consumer market, right? However, there are growing concerns about the broader social implications. So right here, they're telling you that socially, so culturally, and more so, the biology is hurt. Biology, which part is the biology? The lack of birth, right? Which means the lack of intimacy, lack of getting together. So the biology will be negatively affected, right? Broader social implication of the lifestyle changes, lower birth rates, could accelerate demographic challenges like population decline and an aging workforce. Because if there are no new young people to come in, and so that the older generation of workers can retire, and we already know that there's no Social Security, so there's nothing to retire on. Okay, the taxes are still going to Social Security, but you're not going to be able to reap any benefits of that, right? You pay that all your life. They grape your check all your life, all your work life for Social Security, only to tell you that when you're 60 some years old and you tired and you ready to retire, they tell you ain't no Social Security. Right. And when you don't have a younger workforce, you don't have that population to come in and be that workforce, then you're talking about people never retiring. Right. And that's already happening. Right. Right. But then they start talking about what's the downside. Unmarried, child-free women. You know how they say single women are the happiest women and the most stable women? They're saying unmarried, child-free women face increased mental health challenges. Right. You got to pop a Vicodin, you got to pop a Xanny, or whatever you got to pop. I don't even know what them drugs do. Right.
Messaged.
Related to loneliness, lack of social support or identity. Why is this a problem for women? Because of the way women socialize. Again, the biology will now be affected negatively because women socialize differently from men. We like social groups because we find support and safety in that. Somebody around us. We don't fare well with that complete hyper independence where there's nobody there, the rugged individualism. I don't need nobody. Not only do I not need a man, I don't need nobody. That's not how females work, period. All right. So this is where her lack of identity, she can't find herself. She doesn't know that she's without guidance and without purpose. This is where lack of identity comes from. When you don't have a purpose, when you don't have any spiritual grounding, when you don't know what your purposes are, because all of this, what they talked about is if that were your purpose, you wouldn't have an identity crisis because you would know who you were. You would be fulfilling your purpose. But this is not your purpose. This is not the purpose of women. Okay. Ultimately, while this trend reflects greater freedom and autonomy for the disorder, still pushing that this is somehow good for you as a woman. It also raises important questions about the future of family life, non-existent, social structure lacking, long-term well-being, non-existent. Okay. But you're strong and independent and don't need no man, and single, child-free women are the happiest women on earth, and marriage is horrible because it's slavery. And
that's a
all
joke.
the quote unquote mental load, and you got to do it by yourself, and your husband don't help you, and blah 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 blah. So marriage is some type of slavery, and this is some type of freedom. If marriage is slavery, all you did was pick a new slave master, because this is slavery too.
And I wanted Crimson Cure to say that. She said that towards at that very end of her piece there. Yeah. So we've covered this once again multiple times. It's come back up for some reason. And it's making its rounds through the black interwebs, right? Black Twitter again. And this is something that we've been speaking about for years. So I guess now Black Twitter is getting a hold of this. Outside of kind of this gender talk, because this was on what, Black Millionaire, whatever. So and the women were copping pleas in the comments. They were talking all type of crazy. They standing on that. Yeah. They said, don't threaten us with a good time. Right. And what the comments look like, y'all? What the comments look like? Huh? And look how happy the girlies are. The picture, or the girl in the picture is. You have somebody that said that. You told women to pick better, and they did. You got a lady that said that. Cool. See y'all at Pilates. You got a young lady that said that. Right. Some of the brothers, right? We did it. We are learning to pick better. There, talking crap. Love contributing to the decreasing birth rate. Okay. Got a lady that said that. Right. They said, don't scare us with a good time. This is why Accountable Commentary told y'all no reachbacks. Huh? What this young lady said, by 2030, I'll be 31 years old, and I'll be perfectly okay with not having kids or being married. I just told my mom I'm about to turn 27 with no kids, and I love it here. There you go. Huh? As long as you're not settling and you are actually content in your singleness, there is not a problem. Okay, Mr. Z moved too fast. Goddamn. Mr. Z was scrolling a little too fast. Right? Homegirl said, there ain't no problem. I got one woman that says if we stop having kids, who carries the human race? Okay, okay. Huh? Yeah, I'm waiting, y'all, because there's one more comment that I really, really wanted to read. I got another one that said, if they act right, I'll probably would have played along, but let me go put my retirement vacation put my bucket list together and save for my retirement is what she said. Yeah. Huh? They're celebratory in the comments. Nothing to see here. Huh? Y'all ain't never seen faker smiles in your life. You never seen a faker smile in your life. You never seen something so false in your life. Huh? This is why accountable commentary says no reachbacks. Huh? This is why there's a SYSBM. This is why there's a passport bros for all the elders pretending like they don't get it. Heck, or another. This is the comment Mr. Z was waiting for. Bruh, I never wanted any kids when I was a kid. I was a kid playing house with other kids. Like don't hand me no baby. Wow. Never played with dolls. Dolls. Friends no. Don't add me to no. I'm sorry, y'all. The print is really small for me too. To no godparent list. What else she says? As for being single, I never thought of being married and blah blah blah. That's the comment. Somebody's gonna pause it when y'all reading it. Make enlarge it, enlarge it. Anyway, yeah. So they're celebratory, everyone. They're celebratory, and there you go. Huh? Gotta love it. Now, dear black men, you're gonna be in your feels for some of you, but there's a cost to this. Huh? Now we know they're doing white elite men's bidding. Huh? This is for the labor market. This is for the market. This is why I shout out to Compassionate Callus. He says asked out to the market, and the ladies are definitely asked out to the market because after all that standing on business that they were doing in the comments, well,
a few moments later.
Now we have a GMA health alert, a headline we first saw in the Wall Street Journal asking why more women in middle age are turning to antidepressants than ever before. Our ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Ashton's here going to break it down. So this is startling. According to the CDC, approximately 1 in 5 women between the ages of 40 to 59 and 1 in just 4 women over 50 are turning to antidepressants. That's compared with 1 in 10 women between 18 and 39 using this kind of medicine. Why is this happening?
Well, the short answer is we don't know, Robin, but the first step is making this observation. The second step is talking about it, which is why I'm so glad we're having this conversation. But yes, there definitely seems to be some differences in the rates of depression in women versus men and as women age, whether that's a hormonal contribution as women get to menopause or just more lived life experiences, life stressors, world events, things that we've all been through. We don't know, but those numbers absolutely jaw-dropping when you see how common this is.
And of course there's concern. You don't want to overprescribe this type of drugs. So who are they really intended for?
Well, I think that's the key. When people hear this, they tend to go all to one extreme or another. It's not all bad or all good. For the right person, antidepressants for a certain period of time or even a prolonged period of time can be incredibly beneficial. They can help with a depressed mood. They can help with a loss of interest in daily activities and activities that previously used to give joy or pleasure to someone. And they can restore the sleeping, eating routines that are so often disrupted in people and women who suffer from depression, but they can also have risks. So those need to be discussed with the patient before you write that prescription.
Signs for depression.
I think we all need to recognize this, Robin, because they are subtle, but then when they're happening to you, they don't feel so subtle. So chronic sadness, what we call somatic effects of depression, which is physical pain, headache, body aches, where you can't find another attributable cause. Change in sleeping and eating habits are big, and anxiety coming from depression. There is no shame in the game. Speak up, get help.
Thank you for saying that. No shame in the game. Speak up. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. See you on GMA 3 a little bit later. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robert.
oh, yeah. Antidepressant consumption amongst women increase as they get older. Huh, who would have thunk it? Huh? Who would have thunk it? I wonder why. Huh? Why they out here popping pills? And Joe says speak up equals candy store. It definitely candy store. They definitely popping them like it's candy. Huh? So dear black men, these people are asked out to the market, as Compassionate said. I was actually considering changing this title to some iteration of that. They asked out to the market. Mr. Z's title, doing the elite white man's bidding. Huh? Y'all heard the tone. I'm gonna play the first clip again from Crimson Cure. Shout out to Crimson Cure. Right? This is where they are with it. And that's okay. Black men, leave them to their own devices. Literally leave them to their own devices. Huh? This is the road they chose. And clearly, this is not just a black woman thing. Although, in those comments, y'all saw black women. Y'all heard them. Huh? Just to spite black men, they found a way to flip this into a positive. You told us that she's better. Huh? See you at Pilates. Time to save for retirement. Oh, wait a minute. Save for retirement, you say? Black and Latina women who never marry, are the least wealthy in the U.S. About that saving for retirement. Y'all know what Mr. Z should have pulled up, and I just remembered it too. The article, and I'll link it. The article speaking about what is it, kinless black women? How black women are so kinless, and how they need some type of government or social program. Jeez, Mr. Z just not remembering that. I would have had that up. Huh? Yeah, about that. Just to save face, they in the comments celebrating. Just to save face, just to be spiteful, just to give black men the middle finger. They're in the comments celebrating. Rich white elite men say we praying on your ass. We gonna make money off of you. It don't matter what you do. As a matter of fact, stay your ass single. Go work these corporate jobs that we go fire you from. Huh? We go lay you off from. Lay you and then lay you off. Oops. Huh? Shout out to all the white bosses out there. And the ladies are celebrating that. Dear Black Manosphere, they are doing the elite white man's bidding enthusiastically. These women just watched Donald Trump and Elon Musk slashing jobs left and right in the federal government. Black women are losing some 100, 300, 500,000 jobs in the span of a few months. These black women in the comments know that. And just to save face, they're celebrating in the comments. Do we know what they're living in real life, what they're experiencing in real life? No. But just to save face, huh? They're celebrating in the comments. Yikes. But in reality, they're on antidepressant pills. Because their freedom comes at a price.
Don't shoot the messenger. Feminism told y'all be strong, independent, and alone. And y'all followed it to the grave. Y'all pushed all the good men away, called submission slavery, and think being difficult is cute. Now y'all 35 and tired, looking around like, oh, where the good men at? Sis, they moved on. Real men want peace, not problems in a lace front and a loud voice. Feminism sold y'all freedom, but they didn't mention the price.
Feminism sold y'all freedom, but they didn't mention the price. The price is you the hamster on the hamster wheel. That's the price. You're the hamster on the hamster wheel that doesn't get off the hamster wheel. You die, and then we flick your body off the hamster wheel and then put another hamster there. You know, another woman. Huh? So that's what the goal was, to be a cog in the machine? Because let's be very clear, the vast majority of us will never be elite. That includes the women. This lottery ticket baller man that's going to save me from myself, yeah, that's not going to happen for like barely any women ever. So the goal here was to be a cog in the machine. So that was the goal of feminism, to be another cog in the machine. So you see the men being a cog in the machine, and you said, ooh, 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 I know, I want to be a cog in the machine too, just to spite the men, the average men, and hopefully one day lottery ticket dream my way into the elite rich white man. Shout out to working class white women. Shout out to just about all black women and Latina women and working class Asian women, because the white men ain't mess with y'all neither. Oops. Yeah. Yeah. Huh? These women are on antidepressant pills, yet they're celebrating in the comments. Single, unmarried, childless, have the least amount of wealth in America, yet they're celebrating in the comments. They age with no man, no kids, and increasingly they are the face of kinlessness. They're celebrating in the comments. Dear black men, everything to spite you. Huh? Dear black men, everything to spite you. Everything to not get on your program. And there's a cost to that, ladies. Huh? There is a cost to that. So the whole time I'm listening to Kendra G speak, first of all, y'all already know Mr. Z done covered this like 2, 3, 4, 7, 11 times, right? But as I was listening to Kendra G speak, I said Kendra G, sorry. As I was listening, I said Kendra G, sorry, y'all. Crimson Cure, forgive me, please. As I was listening to Crimson Cure speak, all Z was thinking was, but aren't they, but antidepressants? But didn't Z watch a segment about this a while ago? And wait a minute, don't we know that as they age, they're more and more on antidepressants? And like, they try to say, oh, it's because of menopause and it's because of this reason or that reason. And wait a minute. Huh? Now, this lady is going to be speaking about it from the other end, but listen to what she was speaking on, how she was framing this, right? These are two white women, but listen to how they're speaking.
You are looking through a window and it's been fogged your entire life. And everyone's telling you, no, this is just how it is. This is how you can see. You can't see any differently. And then someone starts like rubbing away the fog little by little. And you're like, that's what the world is like?
Exactly.
And you're like, someone for 15 years has been fogging this window and not even allowing me to see what real light looks like. I mean, I imagine you felt robbed.
Yeah, that's exactly what I felt like. And it's like you just suddenly Windex the window.
Yeah.
And okay, but what happens, right? Yes, you can see the beauty, you can see the trees, you can see the flowers, you can also see the dirt, you can also see the pain. And the light is blinding your eyes, right? So, and it was so sudden. This was not a gradual thing. And it's so overwhelming to suddenly have all of that input coming into your system and absolutely no tools to deal with it. Since puberty, I'd just been walking around in a state of
The overwhelming, that's what I wanted y'all to focus on, the overwhelming. But ladies, you decided to get off of men's program. Black women, you decided to get off of black men's program. So you out here dealing with, well, being overwhelmed by whatever elite rich white men and their women and elite rich white women have for your ass. And what they have for you is constant titillation, pun intended, ever since you were a child.
If this struck you as unusual when you were watching the series, that's because it was. In scholar Richard Bush's study of 262 so-called domestic situation comedies from 1946 to 1990 at least, he found that just 11% featured heads of household who were working class, i.e. doing blue-collar, clerical, or service work. Malcolm's father, and future drug lord as you may remember, plays a low-level clerical worker. This is despite the fact that most American workers qualify as working class. Back in 1976, scholars Gerbner and Gross addressed this still relevant trend, calling the exclusion of working-class families from television a symbolic annihilation of America's economic realities. The problem is especially bad on children's television, where a scant 2% of characters are depicted as working class. Now, this isn't exactly a coincidence. Showing stable middle and upper class families is good for business, especially if you're making a family-friendly sitcom. And the reason is simple: commercials. According to scholars Zieglinde Lemke and Wibke Schneiderman, as a form of mass entertainment financed by selling commercials to middle-class consumers, it seems logical that the predominant mode of representing class presupposes middle-class normativity. That is to say, watching the kid's skin stick to the seat in a rundown car with a broken radiator doesn't exactly put you in the mood to splurge on that cool new vacuum cleaner or a fancy bottle of cologne. In comparison, watching the Huxtables hang out in a brownstone while modeling yet another sick sweater from a seemingly endless pile brings viewers a sense of economic plenty that they might not feel in their day-to-day lives. Now, obviously, Malcolm in the Middle wasn't the first show to peddle an economic angst.
I'll tell you what they're going to pay you. They're going to pay you what all jobs pay. Less than you're worth and just enough to keep you crawling back for more.
We saw this as far back as the 50s with the Honeymooners, while the mid-70s brought Laverne and Shirley, and the late 80s saw the debut of America's most famous working-class family on Roseanne. But for anyone with enough business savvy, it just didn't seem financially smart to make a family or children's show about bringing your leftover egg breakfast to school for lunch.
What do you have? Leftover eggs from breakfast?
Which brings us to Disney. In a moment, that is. First, we have to look at 1980, when a broad cultural phenomenon began, the Reagan-era loosening of restrictions on entertainment regulations, including advertising during children's television programming. Now, after a major 70s-era crackdown on advertising to kids, you could only show a limited amount of commercials during children's programming, and were also required to produce educational and informative content for kids. When President Reagan and co. had essentially signed or vetoed all that away by 1984, things changed rapidly. A year after regulation, all of the top 10 best-selling toys had their own TV show. While child-centric product placement had occurred during television's early days, that was really no comparison to this new reality. The insane proliferation of TV character-aligned merchandising was dubbed the Strawberry Shortcake Strategy by Tom Engelhardt. That's thanks to the 1980 show's explosions of licensed dolls, video games, stickers, lunchboxes, and so on. And that reliance on branding would continue to increase from the 90s and on, as corporations realized what a valuable consumer demographic children could be. And though a 1990 congressional bill had reinstated some restrictions on such advertising, the industry had been changed forever. Increasingly, merchandising centered on children's television characters began blurring the line between consuming entertainment and just plain consumerism. And we're not trying to demonize your favorite Lizzie McGuire lunchbox. It's just a little weird. Which is why families like Malcolm in the Middle aren't the norm for places like the Disney Channel. While they didn't start making original live-action shows until the late 90s, they came in hard, quickly crafting what journalists Julia Borston and Alinda Wheat call a tween machine, in which pre-teenagers, and in this case primarily girls, were targeted through lifestyle marketing like the message seen. As scholar Morgan Genevieve Blue notes, the marketing was part and parcel with the programming decisions themselves, explaining that Disney Channel personnel worked closely with Disney Consumer Products and Disney Music Group to extend the network's fictional narratives across a variety of media and merchandise for tween girls. This was in order to effectively creep into the lives and life spaces of kids beyond the TV network. And that's according to a presentation given by President and CCO of Disney branded television, Gary Marsh himself. And the way they did it, mostly through appeals to girl consumers. As Blue explains, characters like Hannah Montana promote representation of aspirational celebrity and teen life via fashion and dress-up and musical performances. In this way, according to Blue, franchisable girl star personae both reflects and perpetuates a neoliberal turn in the United States, which privileges a performative and celebrity-oriented form of girlhood as the contemporary ideal, i.e. a girl who has all the products she needs to look and behave a certain way. In the aughts, this often took the form of sparkly clothes, as best seen in Disney's unprecedentedly large expansion into Walmart stores with clothing and lifestyle lines specifically marketed to middle and working class girls. And by 2014, Disney was racking in $3.99 billion of revenue in consumer products alone, driven largely by Disney Channel merchandise. The franchise elements of the Disney Channel explains why programmers need to make shows about securely middle-class families. Doing so both doesn't alienate working-class viewers, while also painting a fantasy of magical middle-classdom where money is never a problem and consumption is a high priority. That is to say, the family on Wizards of Waverly Place is a humble sandwich shop, but their apartment sure doesn't look that way. As Blue puts it, Disney's texts, products, and promotions may allay anxieties over vast systematic inequalities, in large part by painting an image of a world where families aren't struggling to make ends meet. This, of course, requires ignoring realities, like the fact that 14.4% of American children were growing up below the poverty line as of 2019.
I actually am worried about the future because I just want us to be good and don't have to worry about how we're going to get the next thing or how we're going to get food.
Of course, it's not just Disney and it's not just tween girls being targeted. Cartoon shows like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Smurfs were extended through a huge amount of licensed merchandising tie-ins, ranging from films to comics and books to computer games. Scholar Marcia Kinder observed back in 1991 that this transmedia intertextuality effectively eliminates any distinction between the original text, i.e. the show, and the spin-off text and commodities that bank on the show's success, which may be a large reason why children's and family television typically finds its comfort zone in middle to upper middle class bliss, where the biggest problem is your family photo shoot coming out squeaky clean. And there's nothing wrong with that. We love these shows, but it does present a skewed perspective of what American life is like. As Stile Sakira and Larry Osimensa put it, television serves as a tool that continues to mold the public consciousness, in part by fostering a single-minded interpretation of superficial symbolism as an indicator of status and quality. That is to say, by basically suggesting that the right house, the right toy, or the right sparkly outfit can bring you happiness and cement your status as happily middle class, TV reinforces a materialistic status quo. No.
Reinforce a materialistic status quo, and they were catching you since you were a little girl. Anybody ever seen the cartoons or any TV show or movie and they have the carrot in front of the horse or in front of the right? They have, and then it's just walking and it's just looking at it and it's never gonna get it, but it's just using that to lead. Yeah, elite rich white men. The Black Toxic Masculinity says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Says women and children first when they not having children. Exactly. You didn't notice the difference in how they speak? Now it's not about being a stay-at-home wife, right? No, excuse me. It's not about being a stay-at-home mother. Said that wrong. It's about being a stay-at-home wife. A stay-at-home girlfriend. Yeah, they don't plan on having kids. They don't plan on getting married. You read the comment from the young lady. Yeah. They think they're just going to thug it out. They're just going to tough it through. And they're going to save enough to retire. Yeah, right. Most Americans don't have enough for retirement. That includes the men and the women, black women. The women, black women, you know, the ones with the least amount of wealth in America when they don't get married. That's going to be the group of people that's saving for retirement. Yeah, that's it. Doing the elite white man's bidding. That is the title of this stream. That is what all of these women are doing. Not just black women, all of them engaging in that. If 45% in the next 4 and some change years, and I've spoken to some of you, and we think it's going to be more than that. That's going to be single, unmarried? Yeah. Possibly more than that. And they will be, you better believe it, they will be on the antidepressant pills. Those golden girl relationships, it's not going to be enough. Going out with their friends, and as the young lady said in the comments, see you at Pilates. Yeah, the Pilates, it's not going to be enough. Because y'all all are lying to yourselves, and we know it.
Look at me, look at me. If you were single, if you were a single woman in Charlotte, North Carolina, look at me, okay? I was feeling great about myself. I was like, I'm a bad bitch. I'm single. I don't need no man. I actually really would love a man, and I do need a man. But just, you know, this is what we say when we're single and we just want to... Anyway, focus, Medina.
We know you ladies are lying to yourselves, but have fun with those rose toys and antidepressant pills. Dear black men, dear black manosphere, you don't owe them the reach back. When they reach that hand back, when they reach that arm back, once again, shout out to Accountable Commentary, you don't owe them accepting that. You don't. And once again, thank you for the super chat. Black Toxic Masculinist, thank you for the super chat. And Vince says, I'm tired, Grandpa. I got you. Right? Because that's definitely the kinless black women. That's definitely them.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn bad.
So the ladies ripped up the social contract. You see them in the comments celebrating ripping up the social contract. And there's a cost to that.
You will put other people in this organization at risk, and that organization does not want to take that risk. So you do not have this job anymore if you decline it. With any public health decision, there has to be a consequence to you not participating in that social contract.
I'll do whatever you want. I'll cook for you, wait on you, make love to you. I can make you happy, Josh. I can make you so happy.
No. It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Well, but to save face, and Vince, thank you for the super chat. But to save face, and Saint Cyr says, kidless, jobless, no savings, and just overall down bad. You know, to save face, they still talking crazy in the comments. Do they know that we know? Ladies, for any woman that stumbles on Z's channel, any woman listening right now, you ghost listeners, you do know we know y'all struggling, right? You do know we know that you're not Chrissy or Kim Foster or any one of these women that's doing okay-ish. You do know we know you're not a celebrity black woman, and even them, they might have it financially, but mentally and emotionally, psychologically, you do know we know that we have more wealth than you and we earn more than you in income, right? You do know we know that. Who you saving face for? Dear black women, you know black men aren't white, right? Like, you know black men aren't non-black. You know black men aren't Asian or South Asian, East Asian. You do know black men aren't Latino or definitely mestizo and white Latino. You do realize black men are black. They're your brothers and your fathers and your uncles and your nephews, your sons, your boyfriends, your ex-boyfriends, your ex-husbands. You do realize black men are black men. You know we know you lying. Worst of all, to yourself. Yeah. About those antidepressant pills again.
Now we have a GMA health alert, a headline we first saw in the Wall Street Journal asking why more women in middle age are turning to antidepressants than ever before. Our ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Ashton's here going to break it down. So this is startling. According to the CDC, approximately 1 in 5 women between the ages of 40 to 59 and 1 in just 4 women over 50 are turning to antidepressants. That's compared with 1 in 10 women between 18 and 39 using this kind of medicine. Why is this happening?
Well, the short...
Y'all asked out to the market. Translation, you're asked out to Jeff Bezos and Elon. Huh? You're asked out to Sam Altman and Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, the Waltons. Huh? The Koch brothers. You asked out to them. That's who you asked out to. You asked out to ad execs. Huh? You're definitely asked out to all the agro business and anybody that push any type of food. You asked out to them. Average woman's weight in America is what, 169, 168, something like that. Average black woman's weight is about 20 plus pounds more than that. Oops. So we know you asked out to them. So of course you're on antidepressant pills. The reality of the situation, you know your life. Don't want to be on a black man's program. Well, black men, you don't owe them that reach back. They're going to attempt to guilt you. Make it more visceral, Z. They're going to try to guilt you while they're talking crap in the comments still. Make it even more visceral, Z. Your own girlfriend gonna be in the comments, god damn, talking crap while you're subsidizing her. Huh? Your girlfriend in the comments right now. Like in the comments right now. Huh? She know better than the comment, but she done slipped up and liked a couple of the comments. Huh? Yikes. Z, you talking about subsidizing. What are you talking about, Z? The average man spends $5,000 to $12,000 more per year when in relationship. Yeah. Huh? And once again, shout out to Crimson Cure. Shout out to Crimson Cure.
Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So this was interesting to me. It says by 2030, around 45% of women aged 25 to 44 are expected to be single and child-free, according to the new study. And this is I'm just going to read the information here. Nearly half of women aged 25 to 44. This is pretty much the marrying age of women. And this is why, even though you might think that my title is being hyperbolic and saying all women, most women get married in this age range. Okay, 25 to 44. So this is like the prime area or the prime age for women to have some kind of committed relationship. By the time she's 44, she's probably already been in a relationship, or ideologically she would have already been married, right? We know that in this current climate that's not always the case, but you get what I'm trying to say. Recent projections from Morgan Stanley suggested that by 2030, that's just 4 years from now, basically, because it's going to be 2026 soon, that by 2030, about 45% of women between 25 and 44 in the U.S. will be both single and without children. This trend has been steadily rising, up from 41% in 2018, and is expected to grow by 1.2% annually, outpacing the overall population growth rate. That's key, to outpace the population growth rate. One of the major reasons behind the shift is that many women are prioritizing their careers during what's often considered prime working years. This lifestyle change is being supported by evolving cultural norms, increased access to education, and opportunities for economic independence. Economists like Ellen Zentner note that this shift may actually benefit the labor market. Who will it benefit? Not women, not men, not children, not the society, the labor market. As more women are able to work full-time and contribute to the economy, single women are also known to spend more on travel, entertainment, personal care, and retail, which boosts consumer markets. However, there are growing concerns about the broader social implications of these lifestyle changes. Lower birth rates could accelerate demographic challenges like population decline and aging workforce. Additionally, some studies suggest that unmarried, child-free women may face increased mental health challenges related to loneliness, lack of social support, and identity. Ultimately, while this trend reflects greater freedom and autonomy for women, it also raises important questions about the future of family, societal structure, and long-term well-being. Okay. And you can see the comments. This right here is probably the most straightforward, modern response to, or reason given for the purpose of feminism in a modern piece of media. Do you understand what I mean? This right here encapsulated feminism and the purpose of it, the real purpose of it, not to empower women to be better people or to be there. Right here, they're talking about the actual reason why feminism was pushed in society overall. Let's go back over it. To capture women in this age range, 25 to 44, where these are women who would, in another society, in a non-feminist society, these are the best candidate women for marriage and family. At the younger spectrum, you have more fertility, idealistically, more fertility, because like I've said before, having children is a young woman's game. Okay, so from 25 to 35, and we know biologically earlier than that, but using the number that's right here, 25 to 35, prime childbearing years, right? You don't start getting complications from childbearing unless you've got health problems pre-existing, not taking care of yourself, and you have to really become quite a bit older actually to start having actual problems giving birth due to age.
Once again, shout out to Crimson Cure. Yeah. So y'all heard that. I said it a million times. The tone is not, how can we make our money but not destroy the family unit? These people don't care nothing about that. No, they're salivating. Oh, we're going to make a lot of money off of they lonely single asses. Huh? Because let's be clear, most of the women still want to get piped. As good as the rose toy is, it's still a substitute. So they still going to be buying makeup. They're still going to be buying dresses. They're still going to be buying heels for those of them that can walk in them. Huh? I dress how I dress for me and other women. Shut. Huh? Yeah, that's it, ma'am. Yes. Okay. We believe you. Not. Huh? And Eric Denman says, and thank you for the super chat. Now that the government has taken its finger off the scales in favor of women, they are finally seeing the world as men have always known it. Not yet. I don't know if we will ever see that day, but definitely not yet. I don't think they're there. I don't know if you want a world that's like that. Huh? A few women, right? Like we know that a number of them are homeless. We know that's increasing. We know that. So a few of them, yes. Right? I watched something earlier. It was one man. It was a compilation of homeless folks, of people talking about the labor market and how they struggling. And it was out of maybe 10 or 12 in the compilation, it was like 2 men and nothing else but women. Yep. First off, the world don't care about our tears and our struggles. But secondly, the women didn't think they could get hit. They didn't think you too can be homeless. Huh? So, but women having to fully eat the repercussions of their decisions, especially as men know it, I don't think we're there yet. Right? A handful of them, a super handful, but yeah. Even those, there's still somebody that'll go. There's still somebody that'll wash her up and park her in his apartment, in his condo, in his house. Huh? Once again, Eric, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Excuse me. And Joe says, Mr. Henry was supposed to scoop them up, and thank you for the super chat. Mr. Henry was supposed to scoop them up by now, because you know that's what Henry was supposed to do. Exactly. It's the lottery ticket dream. Not get on a black man's program or get on a man's program and stay there and be subsidized to some degree. Nope, 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 nope. You got to be a millionaire. You got to be a millionaire to talk. Imagine everyday people, women, throwing around the term billionaire frivolously. Over 8 billion people on planet Earth, give or take 3,000 reported billionaires, even if you double that to include the billionaires that are not, they don't want to be part of any list. Even if you triple it, quadruple it, you talk about 12,000 billionaires on a planet of 8 billion people. Even if you quadruple it, huh? 8 billion people on planet Earth, reportedly, give or take, what, 68 million millionaires? Or was that even America? That might have just been America and it wasn't liquid. Either way, it wasn't liquid. Huh? So yes, Mr. Henry was supposed to scoop them up, and he didn't. And so now they throwing a temper tantrum. I ain't gonna have America's kids. Huh? I'm not gonna be with your dusty sons. Huh? Who wants to be with average anyway? Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Yeah. A lot of them have the pretty woman fantasy playing in their mind. Huh? Because as you said, Joes, and I got the clip for you right now, Mr. Henry was supposed to scoop them up forever ago. Ain't that right, Claudia Jordan? Oops.
For your night. That's a very pro-woman, amazing, like strong, independent woman. But might I add another angle? I would feel like, why the hell ain't no one trying to scoop me up to save my life? Am I ugly? Are they better looking than me? Like, why are they getting saved and I'm over here working, taking on extra shifts now because she got Richard Gere that came and scooped her up and now she got an easy life and now I got extra corns on my toes and my back hurts because no one's saving me. So you have a very positive attitude. I would have been a little bitter like, why the fuck? Why not me? Why not? I don't want to be irresponsible. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of the goddamn cape. Somebody save me. I want to be Julia Roberts on Hollywood Boulevard in cheap shoes when some guy comes and saves me. I have worked hard since I was 14 and I had to pay. I'm sick of it, Erica.
I do understand.
I understand what you're saying. Classy and independent. It's thankless. I've been dating since the 1900s and 80 something, and I'm still single. I'm tired, Erica. You found your man. Don't hate. Let me live it. Let me vent. You're off the strip. I am still on it. I'm in the trenches, and it sucks. I'm sick of being independent. I fucking hate paying for my fucking Range Rover, my other car, my mortgage insurance, my freaking cell phone, computer, Wi-Fi. I am sick of it. I need some guy with bad health to jump on in and interrupt and say, let me take you off your shift. You've been working hard enough. So that's cute what she's doing. I'm not doing that. We are different. I am tired. I've proven myself. And it only impresses other women. She's like, oh, that's amazing. My friend's independent. These men don't care. Come and save me. Some chic, minus the dookie. Just please come and save me. I'm tired. I'm tired, Erica. I don't want to do it no more. Where's my Melania? I want the Melania Trump plan. I'm sick. I've proven myself. Since 1988.
At 88.
I'm tired. I was 15 out of paper route.
Damn, that's a long time.
72 clients. 30-cent tip for some of you bastards in East Providence, Rhode Island on 2nd Street. I remember I gave you papers 7 days a week, and on Sunday you gave me a 30-cent tip. I'm tired. So I'm glad it worked out for you, but I'm not there.
Being a strong, independent woman since 1988 is a lot, Claudia.
Since Salt and Pepper came out.
That's a lot.
I'm tired.
Damn.
So yes.
Damn.
Excuse me if I'm a little frustrated. So I envy the girls that got taken off the pole, so to say.
Nobody said nothing about no damn pole.
But metaphorically.
Yeah, nobody said what my point was, because here's the thing. The point was that this is a
take off the cape, Erica. We lost the election. We're not doing this anymore.
I'm not.
Soft life. Hookers are winning.
All about.
Hoes are winning. Hookers are in the White House again. First lady, if you will. I'm over it. It's no one cares. Nobody cares about independence anymore. But I respect it. But they don't.
I get it.
Claudia, you might want to date white. Erica got a white husband. Oops. You might be able to meet your Richard Gere. Mr. Z can never pronounce this goddamn last name, right? You might. You might be able to live your pretty woman. You might be able to pull a Julia Roberts. I doubt it, but yeah. Huh? Uh-oh. And the Black Toxic Masculinity says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. They are face down, ass up, hashtag corporate wombs. They are. They literally are. What it looks like is the technocrats are having a battle on how this is supposed to go. This is like a constant. And there are technocrats that said, let them eat cake. We gonna make money off of them. Those are the ones that in that tone, by the way, Morgan Stanley, the she economy, right? We gonna make money off of them. Right? That's why that tone is that way. This memo was originally from Morgan Stanley. They did their research and they're like, wait a minute, it's looking like there's a trend here. Oh, these women gonna be single. Oh, don't worry. Look, call up everybody that took out a loan with us. Tell them produce stuff for single women because we about to eat. That's why that tone is the tone of this article is the way it is because of the memo that it came from originally. Yes, ladies, they're about to feed on your ass. Not in a giggity way either. If y'all out here doing that. Huh? Once again, Black Toxic Masculinist, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. We're gonna play just the beginning part of this again from Crimson Cure. You'll come see a second.
Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So this was interesting to me. It says by 2030, around 45% of women aged 25 to 44 are expected to be single and child-free, according to the new study. And this is I'm just going to read the information here. Nearly half of women aged 25 to 44. This is pretty much the marrying age of women. And this is why, even though you might think that my title is being hyperbolic and saying all women, most women get married in this age range. Okay, 25 to 44. So this is like the prime area or the prime age for women to have some kind of committed relationship. By the time she's 44, she's probably already been in a relationship, or ideologically, she would have already been married, right? We know that in this current climate, that's not always the case, but you get what I'm trying to say. Recent projections from Morgan Stanley suggested that by 2030, that's just 4 years from now, basically, because it's going to be 2026 soon. That by 2030, about 45% of women between 25 and 44 in the U.S. will be both single and without children. This trend has been steadily rising, up from 41% in 2018, and is expected to grow by 1.2% annually, outpacing the overall population growth rate. That's key, to outpace the population growth rate. One of the major reasons behind the shift is that many women are prioritizing their careers during what's often considered prime working years. This lifestyle change is being supported by evolving cultural norms, increased access to education, and opportunities for economic independence. Economists like Ellen Zentner note that this shift may actually benefit the labor market. Who will it benefit? Not women, not men, not children, not the society, the labor market. As more women are able to work full-time and contribute to the economy, single women are also known to spend more on travel, entertainment, personal care, and retail, which boosts consumer markets. However, there are growing concerns about the broader social implications of these lifestyle changes. Lower birth rates could accelerate demographic challenges like population decline and aging workforce. Additionally, some studies suggest that unmarried, child-free women may face increased mental health challenges related to loneliness, lack of social support, and identity. Ultimately, while this trend...
So of course they have to frame it in a way that's not congratulatory, but more encouraging of the women, of the ladies, right? They're prioritizing their careers. Yay! Huh? They're prioritizing their careers. But they slipped up and they let you know, no, we're about to make money off of you. Dear black men, you don't owe them a reach back. That you do not. When they reach that hand back, because all they're looking to do is be subsidized. Huh? Find some shade for a little while. And Joe says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Joe says, cue the Paul Mooney joke about slave owners. All right. Ah. And Pastor OG says, I won't have kids. Cooking is slavery. You have no right to know my body count. Exactly, right. And you have to pay for my 40-year-old life of leisure. Life of leisure. Any big baller takers? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right. Black men, because they're short-sighted and myopic and viewing the world through a straw does not mean that when she get her mind right, better yet, when she gets desperate enough, you accept that reach back. I'm saying that for the individual women you know now who are not interested or who jumped off your program, all those ex-girlfriends. I'm also saying that about the type of women. Ooh, damn Z, don't do that. That's too broad of a brush. Who you know wasn't going to be on your program 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, but she's starving now. Huh? Yikes. And St. Cyr says, meanwhile, the private equity companies are trying to find a way to redirect our 401ks and liquidate all of us, all 12 trillion. Yeah, no, I saw they want to get and privatize it, right? Privatize a lot of this forward. Well, from my understanding, it's somewhat in the market anyway, right? But yeah, no, I know. And that gave me pause for cause too. Or cause for pause, better yet. I said that the wrong way. They said everything is in the purview of the market. Everything. We can see that with the ladies and how they act. Oops. Right? How they behave. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Women, F these men. They're chopped. Society, rolling back-ish like a dice game. Buddy, women, where the men at? Where are the men? Men, GTA 6 about to be fired. Bro, we know they say where the men at because, read the article Z, and thank you for the super chat, KMS. Men, where have you gone? Please come back. So many men have retreated from intimacy, hiding behind firewalls, filters, and calculated personas, dabbling and scrolling. We miss you. She could have put pressing buttons too, but it probably wouldn't flow. Pressing buttons, you know, like playing video games? Yeah. Right? Once again, shout out to KMS. Thank you for the super chat. Because we know that's what it is. Doing the elite white man's bidding. We're the ones looking far. We're the ones saying, hey, this is gonna hurt. Ladies, y'all realize this is gonna hurt you too, right? You do realize this is going to hurt you. Yeah, but anything to spite you. Let's Z use his analogy again. These are the folks that shoot a hole in the boat, hoping that you cannot swim, but knowing she can't swim. That's what y'all talking about right now. Not just black women, working class white women, even some middle class white women. A handful of Asian women, definitely some Latina women, and black women. Knowing that they can't swim, but shooting a hole in the boat hoping that you can't swim. Huh? Yikes. Holding their womb hostage behind a crap attitude. Holding their womb hostage behind insane financial requirements. And demanding that the men pay. And the men are saying right now, shrugs. As KMS said, hey, GTA 6, Grand Theft Auto 6, about to be fire. That's what the men are on right now. The men are about to, as a matter of fact, the men are not about to riot because of vagina. The men are about to riot like, hey, why y'all taking so long with this goddamn Grand Theft Auto? We've been waiting. Uh-oh. Forget yellow vest protests. It's about to be a bunch of men in the streets about GTA 6. It's going to be a GTA 6 protest. And you see the men are finally protesting. What they protesting for? GTA 6 ain't come out. What? Huh? Yeah, the women are saying the men are chopped ugly. Huh? Losers. I said it. Some of you parents raise loser ass women, but you don't know how to talk about anything other than how the men are messing up society. The shortcomings of the young men. And once again, KMS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Huh? Line says it's dropping Memorial Day weekend too. Huh? And I'm Waffle says thank you for the super chat. I wonder what Julesy, Bowser, or any of the bread tubers take on this would be. They talk about quote unquote community, but look at what time these females are on. They don't think in that way when they say community. Community is supposed to allow for her to be an individual. Huh? I said it before, like years, well, not even years ago, but I don't say it that often. We're supposed to build this big ass tent as men and as a society, but definitely the men, and allow for the women to do whatever the hell they want to do, run around under the tent, and spare them from the elements. And that's community. Community allows for them to be in and out of their obligations, right? Pick and choose a la carte their obligations, and definitely not have to consider what a man thinks or what anybody else in the community thinks. So once again, a la carte community. That's why the other day I said, when I said a community of Keishas, no, Keishan group of individuals. There you go. KGI, because they still want to retain their individuality in a very like hyper understanding of individuality, a very aggressive and militant understanding of individuality. Huh? They don't want any type of responsibility foisted on them. And so when you start speaking about intimacy and men and obligation for family and reproduction and all of that, they give you the middle finger, especially if it's not some elite, super tall, good looking, super charismatic, kiss her ass man. If it's not the fantasy, which is okay, fine, understandable, and there's a cost to that. Huh? There's a price.
Shoot the messenger. Feminism told y'all be strong, independent, and alone. And y'all followed it to the grave. Y'all pushed all the good men away, called submission slavery, and think being difficult is cute. Now y'all 35 and tired, looking around like, oh, where the good men at? Sis, they moved on. Real men want peace, not problems in a lace front and a loud voice. Feminism sold y'all freedom, but they didn't mention the price.
They didn't mention the price. And Charles says, coven of Keisha's. Yeah, we did say that. KOC. Huh? Yikes. So that's something to consider. Look, I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. This is not gonna be a long stream tonight. Shout out to Crimson Cure, who I called Cynthia G a couple of times by mistake. My apologies, Crimson Cure. This looks like this is gonna be a constant. This is gonna be something that we cover. Like I said, maybe once or twice a year we'll make mention of it, and we'll circle back to it. This is going to have very negative effects on society, and that will affect us as men, black men also, and it's going to devastate women, namely black women. This is going to devastate black women. Kidless, jobless is what that was Saints here that said that kidless, jobless, manless, possibly sexless. Right. And Lion says, let me reiterate, and thank you for the super chat. Memorial Day weekend is one of the biggest weekends for travel, and GTA 6 is dropping. Men aren't going nowhere. Lion said, we not going to be outside. We ain't going to be outside for a while. Huh? Women are going to open their doors and it's going to be prairie dogs. Rolling hay. Huh? And a light sound of gust, of wind. They want to call us dusty? No, it's gusty outside. That's what it is. And rolling hay, prairie dogs. Because the men are not outside. The men are already not outside. We already have things about that too. Once again, new study shows millennial men are not interested in going out as much as women. We're already not outside. Uh-oh. GTA 6 come out. Huh? And once again, Lion, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Huh? Lion says the only thing going up is the electric bill. Terrell said tumbleweeds. Huh? And Louis says, Red Pill Sleeper says, excuse me, Red Pill Sleeper Cell says, there you go, Z. Invest in your local toy making factory, we'll say. And what does those toys look like, Z? Z, you need to stop playing this. You play it too goddamn much. Toy making factory. Huh? The power toys. The buzzers. Huh? Yikes. Line says that PS5 and TV is never going into sleep mode. Huh? Louis said Mega Rose Super Sonic Vibrator. Look, I already told y'all about them nuclear powered Rose toys. They're gonna be Dyson Sphere powered. Huh? Black hole gravitational pull powered. Huh? Yikes. Passport OG said Uber Eats is gonna have a historic Memorial Day weekend. Look, the men are not gonna be outside. They're gonna be Uber Eats and everything. Huh? Here's the thing. I just had a short movie, like a super short movie. The woman pulls up with her little Benz or her little Benz C-Class CLA, maybe a Tesla Model 3. Audi A3, Audi A4, BMW 3 Series, possibly BMW 2 Series. She pull up to the house. She knock on the door. She waits for his brother to walk to the door. He opens the door. She's instantly physically attracted to him. He grabs the food and closes the door in her face as she's batting her eyes, hoping that he found her attractive. And he did, but he got to get back to Grand Theft Auto 6, GTA 6. Uh-oh. Huh? Trump with the save. Phallic toy manufacturer. You hear me? Huh? Yikes. So on that note, y'all, I wanted to cover this. Shout out to Crimson Cure. This is the cost, everyone. This is the cost. This is what they wanted. This is what they got. They doing the elite white man's bidding. Huh? And that's women in America writ large. A sizable minority, damn near half. Huh? But we already know it's actually more than that. This is what American women wanted. If they can't be with the rich elite man, they don't want anyone. And that's okay. Let them deal with what they're going to deal with. Huh? We know they don't got it in retirement. We know they don't. We know they're not going to. They're not going to have it in 401k. They're not going to have it in pension. We know it. And Social Security, if it exists in the future, it's probably not. Anyway, it's not going to be enough. Huh? Feminism sold y'all freedom and didn't tell y'all the price.
I'll shoot the messenger. Feminism told y'all be strong, independent, and alone. And y'all followed it to the grave. Y'all push all the good men away, call submission slavery, and think being difficult is cute. Now y'all 35 and tired, looking around like, oh, where the good men at? Sis, they moved on. Real men want peace, not problems in a lace front and a loud voice. Feminism sold y'all freedom, but they didn't mention the price.
Feminism sold y'all freedom, but they didn't mention the price. Oh boy. So on that note, okay, y'all. We'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. And we gonna end it on out. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.